Are you just starting in event design and have little to no clients, which means your portfolio hardly have any designs added to it? No worries. This next series of videos is especially for you. Imagine attracting the clients that you want to work with by simply creating mock-ups that draws them in, right? How awesome would that be? You can transition your business to finally ditch the bargain basement Bettys for good. Now, of course, it's going to take some brunt work on your end in the beginning, but guess what? Watch the benefits behind it, right? Because first, you'll be able to actually grow your portfolio. Then you can get as creative as you want. And you can even go all out and design your absolute best because there's no budget to consider. Then finally, you actually get to pick any colors that you like. So if you're dying to design an Arabian Nights theme or Arabian Nights event, simply manifest it by creating a mock-up which is going to draw in the potential clients that are having that kind of event. Sounds exciting, right? Hey guys, I'm Precious Stevens of the Posh Academy, and yes, they do call me the draping queen. I've been in the draping game for 4 years now, and in this video, I want to transition your business to the next level by building your portfolio with amazing new designs, right? This video is part of a 4-part series focused all on creating dynamic mock-ups. For starters, I'm going to be showing you just how to design elegant table draping, which is going to be the foundational piece of this entire design. So if you're ready to create a dynamic design, keep on watching this video. Now, when I first started, guys, I would create a new mock-up every weekend, right? Just to practice my craft. They were okay, but I really couldn't quite get it right? I know how frustrating that could be, which is why I enjoy creating these videos for you guys. I would sometimes leave a backdrop up for days because I could not get it right? So then I go back to it later and, I would source all kind of things on YouTube, looking for tips and looking for just something to help me get this right. Needless to say, there was no Posh Academy back then, right? So I was just out of luck. But how about you? Are you finding these videos helpful? If so, I want you to keep watching because there are so many gems that's going to be laced in this video. And as I said, if you watch this entire video, you're going to learn how to drape a tree table and stage it so no one knows that it's actually a mock-up, right? So let's start, shall we? Okay, so you're going to get started with a 6-foot fold-up table. I would really rather you use an 8-foot wide table because it's just wider and it gives you a better look. But you're going to use chiffon draping panels or chiffon fabric, as well as some sequin fabric and just one basic either a polyester or a piece of stretch fabric so it's not see-through. So here I'm using my chiffon panels that we drape with here, and these are 12 foot long, and I'm just folding them in half so that one panel can actually create 2 sections, and it'll give me 2 actual panels for the ruching. So all I did was draped it, laid it out on a table, and then I did the pinch pleat method just to kind of give it a ruching look or ruching appeal. And I'm only using a total of 3 panels. Because I'm folding them in half, so it's actually giving me 6 different sections. And since this is a 6-foot wide table, each panel is using pretty much 1 piece per foot. That way I get it nice and full. So you just want to keep pleating all the way till you get to the end. Then once you actually finish all of your pleating, you want to pick your panels up just like you would for a backdrop, and you want to polish them up and give them a nice little puddle. This is going to make your table skirt look nice and full and like fluid look, right? So now you're going to take your sequin. This is a piece of mesh sequin, again from the Posh Academy fabric shop. And this is also 12 feet long. So I'm just going to drape it over the entire table, and it actually is just perfect for the length because it covers, it touches the floor on both ends. So only thing I'm going to do is just gather my fabric directly in the middle just to make it have 2 swags since this isn't a really wide table. I normally can do 3 small swags or like 2 really deep swags, but again, this table is only 6 feet wide, so we just want to make it 2 small swags. So you want to take your clips and you just want to clip your excess fabric to the table. This is where it's super important that you have the right size clips for the table you're using. Clips come in different sizes, meaning the thickness. So you just want to make sure that the clip you have is not too big or too small for the table you're using. Then since this is an actual fold-up table, I'm going to go in and find where the table breaks in half. That'll tell me exactly where the middle is. Then once you just polish everything up along the bottom, just so everything kind of look nice and neat, this pretty much completes your table setup. Next thing would be to kind of stage it with your props and things like that. But we're going to do another different style of a table setup, dressing your table. Find this video helpful so far? You can easily thank me by liking this video to help me reach 100 likes. Not to mention, it's absolutely free to do, and it only takes 1 second. I know your girl is worth 1 second, right? And if you're feeling really generous, guess what? YouTube recently released this super thanks option where you can easily give me a tip. This is not only supports the channel, but it also allows me to take the time to create more great content for you guys. Isn't that cool? But don't just go just yet, because there's more. Because there are other ways to actually drape a table, right? So I'm going to show you another technique. All right, guys, so this is going to be a really quick tip and showing you guys how to attach the curly willow to your table as your table skirt when you're creating like a mock-up for some kind of treat table, right? One of the key things I want to tell you guys that's super, super, super important. When you have something like the curly willow table skirt, that is perfect because it already has Velcro attached to it. So you would need these these clips with the Velcro on the back of it. But guys, this clip, which is a 3-inch, does not fit this table. So you definitely want to make sure you're taking your table size into consideration, because they have clips of all sizes, and a lot of those clips have Velcro, but it's different sizes. So you may have a wide plastic table, you may have the thin wooden table. Main thing you want to be mindful of is the size of your clip. So in another video, I showed you guys how to create a mock-up using like chiffon and making it like a really ruffled kind of table skirt. Today, we're just going to simply use some Payette sequin and some curly willow and make it look pretty. So stay tuned. So again, you want to make sure you dress your table initially with some kind of fabric that's going to be opaque, meaning you can't see through it, because the curly willow table skirt is just a bunch of strands, right? So if you don't put anything under it, you're going to be able to see. And this curly willow is super, super long, because when I would dress these kind of tables up at events, it would be for a head table, and those could be anywhere from 10 to 15 feet wide, depending on how big the wedding party was, right? So the one that I have, I believe this is 21, it's either 17 feet or 21 feet. I know it's super long. So if I'm doing something short, like this is only 6 feet. So if I'm doing something short, I would just tuck the rest of it like behind the table or under the table so you wouldn't see, right? So let's get it all unraveled. And normally, so that I am, I'm ensured that I'm in the middle, or, that I don't run out once I go down lengthwise of my table, I would have to find the middle of my curly willow, the table skirt, so that it's even, right? But I know that this is a whole lot of curly willow. So I'm just going to go right like where I think it's close to, because it's not a lot that I have to cover. And realistically, if I was doing like an actual event, did I say event? I did. But if I was really doing like an event, then I would double this up just to make it real poofy, like really, really full. And then, like I said, just to make it really full. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna take it around. And again, these clips was a little bit too big for this table. So definitely you wanna be careful for the size clips that you're using. And also, since the clips that I have is a little bit too big, I still am going to go in with the standard, clip, just to make sure it's tight, because you're not really going to see the lip of this table skirt. It's going to be covered up. So I just want to add a little extra security here. Just like that. Okay. And you can use as many or, however many you feel you want to use, but I technically put mine about every 8 inches apart. Just, you know, so I don't have to worry about them sliding off, or, you know, sometimes people rub up against the table and the friction can allow it to get loose. So, you know, you can't never really put too many, but you can surely put not enough. And unless your top is actually going to be visible, I wouldn't sit here and necessarily try and make sure it's perfect, because if you're going to drape it the way I am, then you're not going to see the top of it at all. See, this is a lot of curly willow. Let's put the excess in the back. Up, see, they slide right out. So definitely make sure you got the right size clip. And kick your excess right underneath the table. Make sure it's nice and full. And sometimes your clips can like kick your initial tablecloth like back a little bit. So that's why I say you can double up the curly willow just to make it super full. Or you can have the tablecloth with like slits in it. If you know it's something like the tablecloth you're going to be using for this particular style all the time, you can go ahead and like actually make some slits in there yourself, so the clip can go through the tablecloth as opposed to pushing the tablecloth back. So here is my Payette sequin. This gives it a little more dramatic look than just standard sequin. You want to just make sure you have the right size. This is only a 6-foot table, so the smaller size will do, which is the 136 is what this is. But I really like the 156 because it's just, you know, it gives you more of a puddle. Your little puddle there. Now with the Payette and the curly willow, I don't necessarily want to cover up my curly willow. So I'm not going to do like deep swoops, but it's a personal preference, right? It's totally personal preference on how you want to do yours. So 2 ways you can do this, right? One way is just to create one wide swoop. And you're going to put this just like you did the previous one. Get your clip. Make sure you're going between the curly willow. There you go. Then, I'm gonna do the same thing. Let me just take one of these clips. That's the one I used. Oh God. Let's use this one. And just go in, do the same thing on the other side. You just want to make sure it's even. Then when you finish and attach it to the tablecloth, you just always step back to just make sure that your swag, oops, maybe not. Let me get another pin. That's the tricky part about using the cheap clips, because they will pop and break. But if you're getting the heavy duty ones or the thicker ones, just make sure it's the right size. So again, give yourself a nice puddle on both sides, some flaps. So just make sure your puddle is even on both sides, not too dramatic. So one way to do it is like this, but then another way, this is just a one wide swag. Another way is find the middle of your table. If it's a fold table like this, it'll be super easy, and just pin. You would just put another clip like you used earlier, if you weren't looking to do 2 swags, just like that. So it's definitely a personal preference. Me, since this is a really short table, it's only 6 feet wide, I would keep it as 1 big swag. However, if it was like 8 feet wide or wider, then I would do the multiple swags, right? To give it a little more dramatic look. But this is just another quick, easy and simple way to really dress up your treat table without having to really do a lot of swagging and pleating and all that good stuff. So here is style number 2. So guys, if you struggle with draping, no worries, because if you're watching this video, it's a good chance that you're looking to learn or enhance your draping skills. And what better way to learn than to learn from the draping queen herself, right? So check out my other links in the description below where you can immediately take advantage to learn from me, right? I even created a free draping guide that you can get instant access to by simply texting the word YouTube to 404-737-0803. The PDF will come directly to your phone. So when it all comes down to it, if you're an event designer, it's important to set up mock-ups so that you attract high quality clients, right? This gives them a visual of what the event will look like if they chose to hire you. And it will also show them that you are professional enough and that you know exactly what you're doing. So don't skimp on your mock-ups because they are real critical to your growth. Now, next up, you're going to want to watch my next video to learn how I create faux treats to dress up my table and to make it look like the real thing, right? I hope you subscribe. If not, this is a good chance to do so. And remember to turn on your notification bell so you know exactly when the video uploads.